Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. It's Thursday night, and we're here with TNA Impact tonight on the Wrestling for Life Network. We're going to be your live reaction to all the action. So make sure you get in that chat, click all the buttons, strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good as me and these pretty faces take you through all the fun tonight. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream as we bring you a live TNA Impact tonight. Should be a fun card. Lots going on. Lots of NXT speculation, involvement. We will see. Oba's supposed to be in the house tonight, but we got lots to talk about. Lots going on in the wrestling world. Lots of things to debate and talk about. Like I said, me and these guys got you for the next couple hours. And it's going to be a fun one. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy. We want to see triple digits in the chat tonight. But I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Big Nick. That is Anthony. But Nick's going to say some stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag stream trios champions of the world. Sweet Tony Rings, Ringsider Anthony, the Every Night Delight KJ White. I'm Big Nick. And Anthony, I'm just glad to see you're amongst the living still today, my guy, after Tuesday, after Moose showed up.
Yeah, I slightly had a heart attack on Tuesday when Moose showed up. I wish that was like one of the moments that I wish I was on the channel that night. But to break down what happened in that exact moment with Moose showing up, I was talking to a friend, and as we were talking through Discord, I heard some music, and I said that music sounds like Moose, but I wasn't sure. I looked up and I really tuned into the music, and I realized it was Moose before he even showed up under the spotlight, and I lost every sense of where I was. I just kept screaming, Moose, 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 Moose is here. Like I was having a hard time catching my breath. But something that was unexpected and something that I love that we're getting now is just surprises without it being spoiled before it happens on social media. And that was a genuine surprise. It was just like when Jordan Grace showed up last year, not just at the Royal Rumble, but when she showed up first time on NXT and no one knew. And it was just like that on Tuesday for Moose showing up.
Oh, yeah, and they very much set it up to that. It was kind of teased that it was going to be that new faction that had shown up and everything, that it ended up being Moose. And even me and KJ, who were here live watching it, I felt like I needed to reach over to Toronto and nudge this man because he was just so entranced. I was like, it's Moose. It's Moose. I said like 3 or 4 times before he heard me.
Even when you yelled it out, I was like, no. Like, you know, for so long, it just felt like an internet rumor, a fantasy booking that we were never going to see, never going to get. And yeah, you know, the music hits. And again, once they kind of zoomed in on him and I could hear that, you know, his entrance song, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. So again, very cool. Not expected. It had been talked about for quite a while, but my God, I mean, they caught us off guard with that. We're going to get Wesley and the boys over here tonight, taking on the Rascals. Oba said he's going to be here tonight. So, my God, lots going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've got JDC, who's on the card tonight, who was just over in NXT taking on Lexus, which we'll see Moose in action next Tuesday. And we'll also see the Hardy Boys in action on TNA for the first time in forever next week on NXT.
Yeah, that was kind of just announced nonchalant, like, oh, we're going to show up next week and wrestle, you know. So that's pretty cool to see them going to be on NXT next week. It's really heating up. It's really heating up between NXT and TNA. And I think tonight we're just going to see more. We still got Cora Jade in the win, who, you know, had face-to-face stare downs with Masha Slamovich. So we still got a lot brewing under the sun here with NXT and TNA.
Yeah, 100%.
very much kind of denounce all of the initial claims, and a lot of people that thought that the WWE TNA partnership was going to be very one-sided, wasn't going to work out that great, was eventually just going to be with WWE owning TNA. Like, this feels very symbiotic relationship, I would say.
Yeah, it's been insane. It's gone both ways. And like I said to you guys before we went live, the IWC got on my nerves today. They're just bugging me. They're like, the constant belly aching is killing me. Like, you don't see this in any other sport or entertainment. Like, there's people that don't like stuff, but this collection of I just hate everything. It was just like, what are we doing? This TNA thing is a perfect example. It's elevated TNA. TNA's doing good things. They've had talent go both ways. The exposure's been beneficial. I don't get why anybody sees an issue with this right now. The Hardys are going to be on NXT. Lots of crossover. Lots of reasons to be excited. And for people that are into fantasy booking, this is perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of what you're saying with, you know, the IWC, I saw a little bit today of them going back and forth about WWE not sending top stars to TNA and things of that sort. And I'm like, can we just give it time and give it patience? Oba is going to be 99% sure Oba is going to be there tonight. He literally said, I may need to show up, you know, at his house. So that's the NXT champion right there showing up on TNA television tonight. So I think we just need to give it time. That's the thing about it. And I think people just see something and want to go on and be keyboard warriors and just type whatever they feel at the moment on Twitter. And it's kind of, it's just like, do you like it or not? I think I said this to Boston the other night, but you don't see people from Law and Order arguing with the people from Grey's Anatomy about race. It's just like you don't see that on social media, but you see that in the wrestling space. So it's like it doesn't make sense.
I can't believe when General Hospital and ER did a crossover that they only sent the the developmental actors over to General Hospital.
Right.
No, I mean, again, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I mean, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about here tonight. I mean, a lot of stories out there going around of intrigue. And I'll say this before we get into all the other stuff. We say it here on this channel all the time. Folks, just because you read something on the internet does not mean it's true. When you hear people out there like spiteful that, you know, we heard from a source, they're making it up. They don't have those. They're full of shit. They suck. They're just making shit up. Don't forget.
Well, I know what you're talking about, and that's the Coachman story, which even to me of Coachman saying that, I'm like, do you really know, my guy? Do you really know?
Their sources is shit they read from someone else's webpage.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but on the bright side of everything, being back to good news, TNA tonight, Joe Hendry in concert. This one should be fun. We'll see who interrupts. Who might have an issue with Joe. You never get through a full concert, right?
No, never an encore.
What else we got tonight? We got
actually real quick. I hate to interrupt Casey Jones there. But could it be the rumored Elias that TNA has been trying to court of another guitar picking?
That would be wicked.
Song slanging, guy.
That'd be wicked.
And this is the time where TNA likes to put some new faces out there, and especially on a live episode. If Elias shows up, that would be cool.
I think he knows where the Performance Center might be, or at least where Full Sail is. So
right.
He's not signed, even though imagine having a guy doing a Righteous video package and everything. You don't have him signed to the contract.
No, it's really weird that happened. Maybe they were just hoping, like, if we do this, then they have to use them. I don't know, but it would be really cool if Joe was like mid song and yes, let's go.
Right.
But the Armory. So Eric Young has moved into Josh Alexander's spot, and now the Northern Army is what we see on the screen here now.
Yeah, so basically, Eric Young said that that Josh Alexander was leaving these two guys behind. So that's kind of was how Josh Alexander exited TNA. So they had their match last week with Eric Young winning, and now he is the new leader of the Northern Armory. So I guess this begs the question of what happens next with Eric Young and Steve Macklin, because Steve Macklin was in trust of Eric Young, and now that is broken, which we kind of saw last week. So this is interesting how we kind of put this tonight. So I'm really interested to see what Eric Young has to say.
Well, I did see Macklin kind of tease of, well, it's been a minute since he's been out there in Full Sail and everything. And no disrespect to the Armory, but Anthony might be able to answer this the best. Did they always dress like Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, this is this picture actually kind of shocked me. So yeah, this is something new.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a little culty, asylum-y, sanity might be, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, we're a couple minutes away from the start of the show, and it's going to be good. What else we got on this one? Tessa's going. A lot of people think that someone from NXT is coming out to fight Tessa.
Yeah, I kind of think the same thing, because she had an altercation with Santino and Ariana Grace last week, and then ironically both of them show up on NXT this week. Obviously Ariana Grace is going to be there because that's her show, but I do believe someone from NXT will face Tessa Blanchard, since she's somewhat refusing to face anybody in the Knockouts division. That's why she didn't participate in the Knockouts Battle Royal 2 weeks ago. So I think that is where we're heading tonight.
Is it Ariana Grace?
It could be.
Does she wrestle?
She did at one point, and then she got hurt. Okay. Disrespectful.
That would be nice.
Two names I heard. Did you just say Indy Hartwell and Tegan Knox? Or did I?
No one said that, but you just said that.
I said it in my head. Yeah, no, those are two names I've heard.
Ooh,
really?
Okay. So if it's not NXT talent, then having one of those two join the Knockouts division. And Indy Hartwell has been very outspoken about joining TNA. I would like that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the options, the possibility that it could be them. I mean, like you said, add new faces, more than just a one-off. Somebody that's going to maybe come in and stay a while might be pretty good.
Right.
But shall we say hello to the chat?
I was going to say, we got about a minute, so rapid fire like you've never rapid fired before.
All right, Eric Isaac, Wrestling Proud, Damian, Sean, Spaz, welcome back, Kevin, Mega. We see you, Cherokee George, William, welcome, Waka, Mega, Alexis, Jesse, Daniel, Barry, Sports, Highlights, how you doing? We got C Money in the house, Sean, Brandon Barnes, MDB, the Chomp is here. John is with us, Eric, Isaac, TJ, AJ, or ABJ, I don't know what you want to go by, but Robert's back with us, chanting TNA. Sean, we got you. Robert Cortez is up on the screen. Sean, William, Sean, Boston, how you doing? Welcome back, Boston Bash. Good to see you. Jose, welcome back, sir. Spaz will come back to your super chat in a second. Let me know what you got. Daniel, Charles, Floyd.
I got Jacob Peter, I got Jose, I got the show starting right now with Jacob something coming out. There's your Floyd. Sean Reed, Spaz, what up? William Berg, Ronan, Vance, what up? Daniel, what up? Jordan Elder, what's up, everyone? Paul, Charles, and Brandon, I think, is right now the most recent. Again, I've got Jake something getting beat by Joe Hendry, which I do believe, and I don't want to speak for the man, but I do believe Jake something has a GoFundMe up right now because he's dealing with paying for medical bills. Because again, wrestling doesn't always have insurance or the best insurance, especially when you're in not the Fed. So yeah,
that is the truth. He does have a GoFundMe page up there to help with his injury. I don't know if the injury actually occurred in TNA. I seen some discourse about that online, but yeah, he is definitely injured and out of action for the time being.
Something is missing in action. There we go. Multi-syllable words to throw together. But I'm basically getting a replay of everything from like last week or I want to say pretty much recent time in NXT or TNA. Christ, they're looking so much similar at this point. They're starting to mold together. Does Anthony, I've mentioned this to KJ, I'll ask you, do you feel that Stand and Deliver becomes pretty much NXT TNA crossover pay-per-view? That becomes kind of our worlds collide?
Yeah, I think so. I also few days before Stand and Deliver, they have Unbreakable. TNA does, which from my understanding, TNA is having a regular episode of Impact on that Thursday night, and then right after having Unbreakable. But yeah, I feel like with the WrestleMania season coming up and WrestleMania weekend and TNA having a show and NXT having a show basically days apart, I feel like that's going to be the start of some type of worlds collide, something there. And Stand and Deliver could actually be the big event for both shows, but we'll see.
Well, I think that's where we would probably potentially get an Oba versus a Moose, unless you maybe do that at Roadblock, because Moose, trust me, as KJ knows, the Canadian is one hell of a roadblock.
Right.
But could you even see like a Fraxium versus the Hardy Boys? Does that happen before Stand and Deliver or at Stand and Deliver?
It could potentially happen at Stand and Deliver. They both teased it. They've had like a backstage segment that wasn't really aired on TNA, so it's been talked about. It's put in the universe, so maybe that match could happen that weekend.
Right, but I'm kicking off with the Joe Hendry concert, sir. Are we synced up?
We are synced up.
All righty, as I see 93 people kicking it with us. Well, 91 now. Let's see if we can get up to triple digits here. Who believes in Joe Hendry? He appears. Anthony, you hear anything about Hammerstone?
Yeah, Hammerstone is still out. He's still injured. He got injured right before Final Resolution in December. So it hasn't really been a good 2024 for him. Last year it wasn't really good because he got injured twice. So hopefully he comes back soon, stronger, and can really be in that main event scene.
Right. Jason, I thought this was delayed. No, sir, it's live. It's one of the few. Now, I really like that TNA is going to the live events. And I know maybe that is part of even that deal with them of WWE's letting them essentially use Full Sail. Because does anyone actually go to Full Sail, or is it just WWE University?
I know WWE was there for so many years. Do they still use Full Sail?
I can't remember. Well, I can't tell the difference, honestly, whether it's the Full Sail or it's the Performance Center. I think they moved to the Performance Center outright.
Right, they moved to the Performance Center outright, where they were stationed at Full Sail for a number of years. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting for them to be at Full Sail because I don't think any wrestling show goes to Full Sail. So for TNA to be there, I think that's
it'd be like NWA running something in Daly's place or something like that.
Right. Oh, so he is doing a full concert. I wasn't sure what he was doing, to be honest, even though it said concert.
But that's the thing, is that's why it's so interesting to me, as he mentions throwing out the Miz. But
right,
it's very similar to someone's former gimmick who also around WrestleMania season did even a whole little concert and everything.
Exactly.
Just saying. Be really fucking cool.
Oh, him mentioning Roman Reigns too.
Well, he wants the match with Cena. Yes.
And then the jab to Cena.
I feel like fucking Matthew McConaughey in that movie. Well, do you have Elias on the show? No. Well, the sure would be a hell of a lot cooler if you did.
Wait, some music hit.
The Colognes.
The Colognes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I invoked when Joe Hendry's around, don't say anything you don't want to appear, because I mentioned the NWA and the NWA appeared. They're making their TNA wrestler, but why Joe Hendry? I mean, your top guy, but like,
Right,
Is
why?
Primo or
why
Epico going to
interrupt
face
Joe
Joe Hendry?
Hendry?
You could probably
Yeah.
win 2-on-1. Or I'm saying Richard saying I kind of wanted an NXT guy. Yeah, but it's still an all at the end of the day, TNA is still TNA. Like you can't just be NXT guys.
Yeah, they still have to book their own show.
Yeah, they do still, they're not just NXT's developmental.
Yeah. I'm still confused why it's them though, but I don't know if they signed with TNA. Is this a one-off?
Are they chanting for Carlito?
Yeah, they are.
I thought they were.
They're saying,
I
"Where's
was like,
Carlito?"
wait, could he be the one that comes out? I spin the face of people that don't want to be cool. I mean, he ain't doing with the Judgment Day.
Right.
He has the easiest job ever of just show up.
Exactly. That is true. He just shows up anyway in the Judgment Day.
Right. Amigo. So the Colognes are now trying to get into the ring. Again, this is interesting for their tag division.
Lights out.
Oh,
Elias, you were right.
Oh, let's get go.
This is awesome.
Who wants to walk with Elijah? Let's go.
We are 8 minutes into this crazy ride already.
This is so good. And again, holy. Hello, I am Elijah. He is actually somebody who, in every aspect that makes Joe Hendry what Joe Hendry is, can challenge him and is straight eye to eye. He is
exactly
the equal.
Yeah.
Holy!
Did he joined TNA tonight?
What? We believe in Joe Hendry.
I swear he said he joined TNA tonight.
I mean, I think it's kind of clear. He showed up.
Exactly.
What are they chanting?
They're chanting Elijah.
What's
the walk?
Walk with Elijah. Oh, I'm out here doing the Dwayne, the goosebumps.
I was just about to say I got a little goosebumps here myself.
Oh, but this is now we about to see some song singing and some guitar picking. Who's the better song singer out here?
Walk with Elijah.
Oh, walk with Elijah.
I like this. Oh, this is so awesome.
So good. Like this. Oh, I said it earlier in the week, obviously with Tuesday. I said that's clearly going to be show of the week. TNA within 10 minutes has fucking thrown a roundhouse head kick right now.
Exactly. They came in strong.
Yo, but though, if he's actually signed, and Tony had him show up in a vignette and didn't have him signed, oh, eggs is expensive now, but that's egg on your face, my guy.
Right. I'm trying to refresh Twitter to see if anything has popped off.
But see, now I like the Colognes because it was the and then you like, all right, what is this? And then holy. Oh, now we got more music.
You know.
When is it? I must not just pay attention to his music because, like, when did the Chips theme become Santino's music? We have two big surprises on tonight's show. God, I love Santino. He is the best, one of my favorite characters in pro wrestling of all time. It is going to be Joe Hendry and Elijah versus the Colognes. It's gonna smell fantastic. Elijah's gonna turn on Henry. That's setting up that feud. He's gonna Jeff Jarrett him, smash him with a guitar. But at least with this time, he's gonna draw dimes.
Right. It looks like we're gonna have a concert with these two.
You do that during WrestleMania weekend, my guy, in Vegas.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry versus Elijah, dual concert. There we go.
There you
Sign
go.
me up. I want
there.
just 10% royalties if it happens. Yeah, so we've got Elijah playing guitar as Hendry singing.
They need to just record a whole record at this point.
Hey, again, well, no, it's Kurt Hennig with doing the rap is crap and everything like that.
Right.
Oh no, Jarrett did one too with Be With My Baby Tonight, his theme song. As we go to Leon Slater in the back, but I'm already still just trying to come down from the high, the goosebumps and everything, the adulation and agitation that was Elijah showing up.
Yeah, it's been 10 minutes or 13 minutes at this point. It's like how NXT opened. Like NXT hit us real heavy, real quick with Moose on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're gonna start off with Oba comes out, so you start off with Joe Hendry comes out. You get a little bit of a tease. Oba teases the mystery faction, the Retribution 4.0.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being Moose. We have, Joe Hendry out there. He teases, or he's doing his concert. He gets interrupted. It's the Colognes. It's and then Elijah comes out. And it is a gut punch and a sledgehammer to the fucking face, my guy. Like I said earlier, I thought initially NXT was going to run away with, again, show of the week and everything. And TNA said, hold my beer or hold my booking.
Exactly. Hold up. We still got one more show this week.
They did the Jacob Fatu to Cody of like, hold on, let me get him.
Exactly. Or you could say they did the man, I can't think of his name at this point. The Kanye West to Taylor Swift. Beyonce had the best album.
I'm gonna let you finish, but that's gonna be you tonight. Or at the end of the week or something. I'm gonna be like, I still think NXT might have had the best show. You'd be like, hold on, wait, I'm gonna let you finish. But TNA had the greatest show of all time.
Right.
Surprised TK didn't want Elijah. I don't know if he didn't want him, but I think it's if he's official like a referee whistle, TNA through and through, and Tony had him out there and didn't sign him, it comes across as a bit of a miss of like, what are we doing out here?
Exactly.
Well, and on a bigger note that I think a lot of people aren't talking about is New Japan has a lot of their top guys not under contract. Like Gabe Kidd, who's showing up on Collision, he's not under contract. And I think that might be why he showed up on Collision, because Tony might throw him the bag. David Finley's not under contract. There's been rumors of Hunter and Co. being interested in everything like that, because obviously family ties. Like Zack Sabre Jr. isn't under contract right now with New Japan.
I think that's why TNA is trying to move away from those one-off deals and actually sign talent,
right.
Because even in New Japan, I'm sure in other wrestling companies, the fans get behind them and then they're not there long. Just like a one-off appearance and they get signed somewhere else. I think that was a lot of what TNA was doing with the spring cleaning. That's what I'm calling it, even though it was at the end of the year and it was midwinter. But they were kind of trying to sign actual talent to the company so they wouldn't be without talent or with these one-off deals.
There you go. Yeah, it's snow removal.
Exactly.
But and folks, that proves how fast our graphics and everything, KJ out there, the great mythos, already updating us with, Elijah in TNA. And that's how we kick off tonight. We're, again, still first quarter hour if we're going WrestleNomics language of TNA live, kicks off with Elijah debuting in the same segment as Joe Hendry.
Right. And I'm trying to look on Twitter right now. I'm not going to call them by their full name, but Spiteful said that he is not signed Elias to ROH or AEW, and TNA had expressed interest in wanting him. Still no official signing there yet, but
100%. The entire reason why I mentioned him potentially showing up earlier tonight before the show kicked off is because I had heard that exact rumor of that. He wasn't signed. TNA is showing interest in TNA's something right now that's catching fire. That's he instantly jumps to the top guy versus respectfully, if he goes to AEW, he's not the top guy. He's best in mid. But Spaz, thank you for the $10 super chat. I feel like we terrible and missed your first one. Mea culpa. But hey, KYJ, Sticky Nicky, and oh my god, it's insert sus nicknames, Tony Rings. I'm 8 subs for my YouTube goal, and my sister-in-law's sister from the fundraiser on my ex is slowly starting to heal, recover. Big love to you too, my guy. Absolutely glad that
that's good.
Family's doing well and all of that, but absolutely big fan of you, and I appreciate the I'm assuming super chat because I feel like you gave one before and we missed
it. Right, we definitely missed it. As I don't know if you're back, but I'm back with the colognes and GM Miller.
Fair enough. Jason, are you seeing a shot of an empty rig? No, because I have it on TNA, and plus I'm assuming you probably do too. They just go to like your broadcast will return soon. Access feed bugging, so I guess it's an access issue. The invisible hand, KJ White, absolutely. Keyshawn, what up? Matthew, what up?
What's up, Matthew?
Just Joe, now they got the clones being inverted with audio. Yes, that's what we have. I've got Matthew Reinhold, Tom Hannafin. I've bandied this idea about because he's now a free agent. What if Miro, instead of going to WWE, goes to TNA? And you've got Matthew Reinhold. You can really do Rusev Day all over again. You can just make it Miro Day. Or Miro other European name day.
Yeah. Miro in TNA would be fun. And it's not like he won't go back to WWE. Never, that's that never say never, but seeing with what TNA can actually do with him. And then he could show up in WWE being in TNA and vice versa, obviously. But I would like that. I really would.
Right. I've got Tyson and Tyreek coming out now, TNT with Wesley. They're taking on the Rascals. Who you got, sir? And how you feeling about Wesley and TNT here, Tyson and Tyreek?
I think I'm taking the Rascals to win. And I don't know. I'm still in the filling out process. I should say pause there. But with this team, because I'm not
smack the shit out of Wesley. Tyreek went to celebrate and everything and just leaned over the top rope and slapped the shit out of Wesley. And even had to be like, my bad.
So this will be interesting how this goes with this trio as we move along here. I don't know. I'm not there yet with them.
Well, obviously the Rascals are super over. I mean, everything that they were doing with Fraxium and all of that was fantastic. As Ace Austin coming out with them could end up being a real match.
Yeah, Ace Austin has become like an honorary member of the Rascals over the past month or so.
Shout out T's and P's with Chris Bay. So, I mean, it makes sense. Because I was wondering if we could get a Wesley, Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks feud or something like that. Maybe you bring in the Rascals as his trio.
Yeah, I think that's something we could see down the line. And Ricky Saints being in NXT is huge at this point because we need some star power in that men's division over there in NXT.
Absolutely, absolutely. But folks, let us know who you're taking, whether you're taking the Rascals or you're taking TNT, Tyson and Tyreek, as already we're underway here with double moonsaults to TNT here with the Rascals. So you're taking the Rascals,
Yeah.
As they hit a double tope. This is not going to look good for my prediction, but I'm taking TNT. I'm taking Tyson and Tyreek. This in no way has to do with Tyson showing some love to the channel and shouting out the call out and everything like that. So that in no way swayed my decision, except a lot, but I still think it could be really interesting of they get a win. Like these are some guys that maybe in the NXT division might be it's a little too crowded right now, but if they're down here in TNA and have a little bit, gives them a little space, a little room to blossom.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some tag teams in TNA, but we can always use more. And it seems like we got the Colognes tonight. Having these two here would be great, as well as they're still under contract with WWE. So
well, and they're the big horses in the tag division that TNA doesn't seem to really have.
Exactly. Yeah. We did have Jake Something and Alex Hammerstone as a tag team, but that kind of fizzled out when Jake Something got injured and Alex Hammerstone. But yeah, that having these two are perfect for the tag division.
Right. Literally I got a follow a slam there from Tyreek onto somebody. Why am I getting it's not Trey Miguel. I was like running through the Rascals roster. I was like, all right, which one are you? But Jason, shout out becoming a member for 19 months. Again, folks, we do have the members only stream coming up on Sunday. We have the memberships, we have the super chats, the super stickers, the this, the that's, the bips, the baubles, the merch store, everything. But Nick Cena and Joe Hendry at Mania, Anthony. I think you mean with Cena somehow? What? Or is it Nicholas that teamed with Braun Strowman?
I think they're heading in a different direction with Cena, but I think I don't want to say 100% sure getting this match this year, but I think we're gonna be dang close to potentially getting it.
Could we just have a moment between the two as a double stomp from Wentz on both men? But could we get a moment between them versus an actual match? Because like, who really wins and who really loses in that match?
Right. I would see more of a moment than a match, but either one would be okay with me. But it begs the question, who would win? And I think you would want Joe Hendry to win, but Cena's in his retirement tour and he hasn't won a singles match in years. So
yeah. Well, Cena's on this kind of new tear of like, I'm gonna go with what I've earned this now. So I've done my service to them. Now it's time for them to pay it forward and pay it back.
Exactly. I am also seeing on Twitter that if you use TNA free in all caps, you can get a free month of TNA Plus if you're having trouble watching it on Access TV.
There you go. Again, hashtag not sponsored, but probably should be.
Right.
The back body drop and then
nice.
You ever seen a big man jump up and hit a fucking Rough Rider like that on a fucking
no?
God damn. Wentz with a tope on the outside. Spaz, Moose versus Cena versus Ivar, Ultimate X at Mania. We'll wait to a commercial to talk about the potential of an Ultimate X at least Mania weekend, maybe stand and deliver with an X Division champion showing up. But Spaz also with the $5 of very much taking the sentiment of KJ with the IWC of we didn't send Roman and Cody as the Rascals get the win.
Pick up the victory here.
Boo. Who I picked to win didn't win, so it's terrible booking and I hate it, right? That's how this works, right?
It's definitely terrible booking.
No, it's 100%. Like I said, I'm excited to see more of this trio, this tag team down in TNA. Of now that everything seems super fluid between both companies, especially going into WrestleMania season, which is already unpredictable. This is just 10 times better. I said this week, and sorry, Wesley's talking right now. I'll finish my point after he's done. Oh, so Wesley going at Ace Austin saying, "You're going to stand behind this man after everything he's done to you?"
Yeah. Oh, so he's
Sacrifice.
throwing out a challenge at Sacrifice, which is like two or 3 weeks away.
Now, see, rascals, you got a 33 and a third % chance of beating me and my guys at Sacrifice. You can't say that TNA pay-per-view anymore without thinking of that, honestly.
Right.
But as everybody's collecting themselves, I said this on Tuesday. Chat can let me know how they feel. You can let me know how they feel or how you feel as we're getting the image for the tag match later tonight. I said NXT has become what TNA or what AEW was before, like what Dynamite and what all of that was like a couple years ago. That super surprise authenticity, good in-ring action you got behind these characters and everything, all that.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. It seems like the tides have changed just a tad bit in the wrestling world, with kind of WWE taking it by storm and TNA finding their footing after years of kind of being in the background. So this partnership really benefits both at this point. I'm hoping, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer when it comes to AEW, but I do hope they kind of find their old footing this year and kind of get back to where they started.
They have been on an upward trend as we're in commercial break and everything right now, but they have been on an upward trend of, like, even last night, I'll say this, of it was good for like half a show, and then it's surprising to me that the last good thing I feel on Dynamite, if I remember correctly, was like Chris Jericho's promo, and that feels like heresy to say out loud, but yes.
Chris Jericho's promo was actually really shockingly good this past week. So I can see why you say that's the last thing you kind of remember from that.
But like they have been on an uptick, and it's just, but they still managed to find ways to shoot themselves in the foot. A little bit. As we're getting the hype up for TNA going to Las Vegas, as Hassan, what up? Lying Lee.
Yeah, it looks like this is for Unbreakable, which is WrestleMania weekend. So,
well, again, that gets interesting when it talks about it's close to WrestleMania weekend to where AEW moves all in from Vegas to Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah,
and now we're playing, we're playing, show calendars and everything close to the chest here.
Right. That was a real interesting move for them to kind of do that, but we'll see, because I thought it was always going to be in Las Vegas for Double or Nothing. That's kind of how it was presented to us.
Arizona, historically famous for its gambling and everything like that. It's all in attitude,
right?
As they are hawking their merch store, so I will click off of this, and if I can find the time, I will take a quick brief ad break to hawk to our merch store. Absolutely, folks. Go and get your merch today. Better than any AEW merch. We're not out here charging you, Abercrombie and Fitch prices for Fruit of the Loom t-shirts with, just property of the Death Riders in a corner or anything like that.
As we end the merch part of the show, right when TNA comes back from commercial break,
there we go.
First Class coming out.
And I will say this, and I will say this publicly because, well, shout out first off our buddy, friend of the channel and everything like that, Big Ben Bishop, who has just been under fire with certain fan bases in the IWC lately because he said negative things about five-star rating matches. But he's taking on AJ Francis, and my opinion in the past year has completely done a 180 on AJ Francis. Of before he was flop dollar, insufficient funds, of he was all ego, no sustenance, and he is shown like he is actually one of, outside of the WWE brand, he is one of the better guys outside of it.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if this is something that he wanted to do in WWE and it just never panned out, because right now, since he debuted, he's been on fire and he hasn't lost steam, to be honest.
But I think that slot for him to do this didn't exist in WWE. So I think he's much similar to me like a Macklin. Oh, Macklin found himself outside of WWE. He wouldn't have found himself ever within that system, within that slotting.
True.
There was not a slot for AJ Francis outside of like an NXT champion to do this. So here's a much more open arena for him, and I dig it a ton. And he's gotten, like I said, I've seen his now stuff on social media and everything. Like he just did a whole post taking the piss out of himself or responding to every like hater and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and I feel like Ash by Elegance really found their footing in TNA because she has been doing some good things too.
That's another perfect example, because Dana Brooke was never going to be Ash by Elegance or anything close to that level in WWE.
Right.
What in the TikTok? What the fuck? They had Bob Saget making a cameo in TNA for some reason. The greatest wrestler to ever come out of Orlando, Shaq. Thank you for $2. Tony, hear me out. Athena Moon to TNA. What? Max Moon's daughter? Never.
Why are we showing like TikTok videos? I'm not understanding this.
He's just proving that TikTok still exists. I don't know.
I guess so.
I'm not the TikTok guy on this channel. Let's be honest here. So this is all foreign land to me. This is all foreign. So yeah, well, that's Noel Foley and Frank the Clown.
Frank the Clown.
Yeah, Mick Foley's son-in-law, because of course Mick Foley would have a son-in-law named Frank the Clown. And he didn't have an affair with, what was it, like Dolly the Clown or whatever, that showed up in Austin, or when Vince was in the hospital. Vince was in the hospital and he showed up the clown and everything. Sorry, the old heads. If you have gray in your beard, you got that.
Oh, he said what he's about to say next. TNA might cut the feed.
Oh.
Okay. What?
Frankly, it worked. What the? I've always been reminded, but what is happening? Like, don't make me make a fool out of myself here, AJ Francis, of me out here praising you, and this is just turned into like Mercedes moan.
I don't want to put him in the same boat as Mercedes.
He's managed to control it. Like, I gave you all this props. I was like, I'm behind you, my guy. And I don't know if it's because I'm talking, not fully hearing what he's saying, but this is not working, dog. Like, this is you taking it down.
Right, just a tad bit.
Not to mention, in the U.S., are too many people really wanting to fly right now or trusting airlines or anything like that? You'd be more limousine riding than jet flying, I feel, right now.
Exactly. In the US. Okay, so he's basically talking about getting his respect. He's running down his resume.
But my guy, you had like a full year that like you kind of gotten it a little bit. Like, how long is this for the world title? Of like, no one respects me. Like, if you still feel no one respects you, then what the fuck?
Right. I mean, he competed for the world title at Final Resolution, so
he does have, honestly, I'll say, one of the best choke slams right now going.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's been, like I said, he's had much more room to blossom here and everything. Of you got to let go of that chip a little bit off your shoulder. I feel of like find a new chip. Like we've all this one's stale. Move along. Open a new bag. I left that place to save this place.
This place, you got fired from that place to.
Yeah, but this is it's the AEW ex WWE syndrome of like you can't let go of being ex WWE.
Yeah.
Move on. It's like 2 years, dog. Move the fuck on. She ain't coming back. Who are these women, by the way, on commentary? Like this whole
I don't know those three women, except the one at the end. She hosts a wrestling podcast. She's a big TNA fan.
Oh, fair enough. I thought for half a second one of them was Jasmine Nix, but I was proven wrong. This is like up there, respectfully, I feel, with like the Thunder Rosa, Megan Bayne chair awkwardness. Like, what is happening here?
It started off okay, and it just kind of trended downward a little bit.
Oh, that took a nosedive. That somehow managed to fucking land on its back.
It went a bit too long. I think TNA came back about 8:30. It went 8 minutes too long. It's 8:38 now.
Yeah, that's so this again it's the same almost playbook as we're back to the commentary, but it's almost kind of same playbook it feels of with Tuesday of we had everything that was great. We're really excited, and then we got not chase you and all of that whole segment of that brought the mood down, and now we had that segment that respectfully brought the mood down. But yes, at sacrifice, we're getting the Rascals and Ace Austin versus Wesley, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Igwe. I hope I pronounced that man's last name right because he's scary and big, and he'd kick my ass.
Igwe looks good. It sounds good, I guess. I don't know.
There we go.
So we are getting Rosemary versus Lei Ying Lee now, formerly known as Xia Li in WWE.
MDB saying that was the only bad match of the night Tuesday, and the rest of NXT cook. We'll hope in the rest of TNA cooks because again, it's following the same it's following the same blueprint.
Just a tad bit. It is following the blueprint a little bit. I think this match, hopefully, I'm actually really excited for this one because we haven't seen Lei Ying in a minute. I think she returned maybe after Genesis, but she was injured for a minute. So it's good to see her back. And then Rosemary, she hasn't been on the TNA card since Genesis, since she lost to Masha. So this is exciting a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and she's also the kind of TNA staple. So, folks, let us know who you're taking for this match, whether you're taking. It's going to just be easier if I call her Xia Li, respectfully. But Xia Li versus Rosemary, I made a rhyme. And I'll ask you, and I can't make a poll, but I'll poll the audience if they want to let us know in the chat and everything of which was the bigger surprise appearance, debut, return, what have you, of the week so far of Moose in NXT or Elijah in TNA?
I think I reacted similarly to both. I really want to see how the IWC, how that kind of spreads over the next day or so to kind of give a definite answer.
Right.
I would say Elias mainly because the internet thought he was going to AEW. And so so that's kind of I kind of think that might be the biggest surprise. But having Moose is no downer.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, I feel like more people were already tuned in to NXT and were live reacting to it versus a lot of people are going to be really mad now and really sourpuss that they don't watch TNA. And now you're going to watch TNA.
Exactly.
Wrestle Rant saying we're 40 minutes in and this is our first match. Incorrect. This is our second match. Yes, sir.
And I think we still like have 4 to go. It's like 4 matches that were advertised tonight.
Actually, let me check real quick. Yeah, well, there was the JDC and lead on Slater, which we still haven't gotten. We got the Rascals and Tyson and Tyreek. This match, Lei Ying Lee versus Rosemary. So 3 matches. We're hearing from the Northern Armory, Tessa, and we heard from Joe Hendry. And now we've got the tag match of Elijah and Henry versus the Colognes. So 4 matches advertised and over 2 hours. That's not bad.
Yeah.
2 matches an hour. I mean, you're going to get your statisticians and going to be like, well, they in a 2-hour show, they only had, 15 minutes and 45 seconds of actual pro wrestling.
And Tessa is actually wrestling. And then on a normal night when TNA is not recorded, I mean, it's not live, they legit have about 6 matches. So I'm pretty sure they're using this live advantage to get promos in and things of that sort that they usually don't do on their weekly shows that are recorded.
This is your big carryover. This is your bottom of the order. This is your heavy hitter that cleans, the board for a bit. And then you use the next couple tapings to build back everything around that.
Exactly right. Yep.
But Spaz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Rosemary makes me question my morals and update my organ donor card. Got me scared stiff. Pause. Waiting for an explosive reaction. Pause. Yeah, thank you for at least beating me to it. Yes.
Rosemary looks a little upset there. Got her by the throat. Oh.
But so who you got in this match, sir?
I love Xia Li, but I'm gonna take Rosemary. Xia Li hasn't been around much, and I think Rosemary kind of needs this win more. So yeah, I'm gonna take Rosemary, but I feel like I'm gonna be wrong.
Well, no, I could see very much how you'd be there and everything, and I wonder, and I've said this, we've seen it now at this point with Natalya. I wonder if we're getting closer to that point with Bailey. Rosemary might be there more of like coach / wrestler to a little bit of like Xia Li's kind of going to be the one that's going to be in that division for a minute. Rosemary's been there for a while. Like she's synonymous with the company at this point.
Yeah. She's at this point, she's like a foundation of the Knockouts division and the company. So
a pillar, dare you say?
A pillar. Yeah, a pillar. That was a cool move by Xia Li.
Yeah, and I do really like that there is companies, TNA, AEW, etc., is that even though we didn't like the AJ Francis segment, he would have never been in anywhere near that within WWE. We mentioned Macklin, Xia Li's another example. Like they weren't going to find their slot there, but it's at least good to see that there's a cornucopia of talent wrestling companies outside of that.
Oh, I was wrong.
What? And clean though. Clean.
Wow. Okay. I think she could really do some big things in the Knockouts division this year.
Well, especially if they build her up of,
I
don't want to exactly say like a Jordan Grace, but one of those of she's a striking threat of I hit a spinning, head kick and knock you out like a motherfucker.
Oh,
the mist.
The mist.
Now, everyone pull out your mist flashcards to know what effect this is supposed to take. It's green mist. It's not black mist, so it shouldn't corrupt her. Not red mist, so it's not burning.
So it seems like this
green
might
mist
not
is
be
poison
between the two of them.
Well, yeah, could it be a back and forth for a bit?
Yeah, this could be some type of back and forth between the two. I also still want to know where Rosemary's tag team partner is, but
Sammy. this is very interesting for someone who doesn't super frequently consistently watch a full episode of TNA. Seeing Sammy out here just super aggressive. Oh, going at Mance. Why are they making out in like the fucking electronics closet and everything? Like, around the circuit breakers or around the breakers? What's happening?
I can't wait until we actually have the match between these two. And it goes, the stream goes out. They hit something in there.
That Vengeance Day to pop up or something like that, like we saw. But yeah, no, Mance Warner absolutely killing it. I'm super happy that he's now in TNA. Like the last two big TNA signings were Mance Warner and now allegedly Elijah.
Yeah, so I think those are two big additions to the roster. Definitely if Elijah has signed. And Mance Warner so far hasn't had a match, but I know that's coming with Sami Callihan. So I'm excited to see what they do with him in the next couple of months.
Right. But I will be right back, sir.
Yes, sir. So we are on commercial with TNA. MDB is actually right. Totally forgot Mustafa Ali did sign with TNA, so he was definitely the biggest signing. I think if you put him in order, if Elias did sign with TNA, which I'm assuming he did, it's definitely Mustafa Ali, Elias, and then Mance Warner. But Mance Warner and Callihan have been feuding really, as RM says, they've been feuding for a minute. They've been feuding since Genesis, and at each episode, there's just been some type of brawl between those two. And they're really picking up the pace with the story between Mance Warner and Callihan. So I'm actually excited to see where this goes in the next couple of months, in the next couple of weeks. But so far, we're 48 minutes into TNA, into the live episode. How you guys feeling in the chat? Where do you think, how you feeling about the episode so far? It really started off hot, having Elias and things of that sort show up. So yeah, I don't know. Damien is asking, where do you see Kevin Knight ending up? He's not re-signing with New Japan. Does he go to AEW, WWE, or TNA? I've heard that there's not entrance, but WWE is looking at him to potentially sign. He's like one of their prospects. His run in TNA in 2023 was nice, but things didn't work out. And then they wind up not using him. Now, not to say that they wouldn't use him now under the new management, but if any place he could go, WWE would be cool for Kevin Knight. Honestly, I would like to see him in WWE, but in TNA, but in WWE, he would be cool. Yes, Jason, Ali was axed by WWE, and after he was axed by WWE, he showed up in TNA at the beginning of 2024 and ran with that for about 6 months until he lost the X Division title, and then he was gone, and now he came back, and this time he's officially signed. As we are back with TNA, and the doctor is with Xia Li checking out her eyes and her face, and Tessa is interrupting. Tessa just said it's a little mist, just brush it off. Ooh, so it's a little heat between the doctor and Tessa. And she said you can worry about the undercard talent when the upper talent needs to be taken care of. Okay. Tessa ain't playing. A lot going on in that segment. What up, Boston? What up? Jason says he haven't watched TNA since the Dixie Carter days, so this has been refreshing. It's a really cool show now. If you can check it out each and every week, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But now we got Eric Young and the Northern Army coming out, as Eric Young is the new leader of the Northern Armory. So that's pretty cool. We'll see how they kind of pan this out over the next couple of weeks. Do you think we'll see Oba tonight? Oba did tease that he could show up on TNA. Now, we also have to remember that TNA is recording episodes later from Full Sail. They're recording tomorrow. So he may not show up this week. He could show up next week in the recording. But I think if you want to capitalize on the moment, you want to capitalize on the moment now and have him show up tonight. But they do have a full card already. But, you know, never say never. It all could be a surprise too. So we got Eric Young talking, saying that it's not a farewell for Josh. And if you guys don't know, the two guys behind him is Judas Icarus and Travis Williams. I always call him Travis Scott for some reason, but it's definitely Travis Williams. He's talking about how he started the Northern Armory, Josh Alexander, and how he was too weak to handle it, basically. RM says the episode's been fine, started great, but has cooled off. Agreed. It started on fire. It really did, but cooled off a little bit. The two matches so far were great. I really like that. Don says it was great. AJ Francis promo, it dragged it too long. The rest of the show has been great. It definitely dragged a bit too long with AJ Francis. I think he was trying to go somewhere and it just didn't completely land all the way, but I really thought it was a decent promo. The matches have been a little quick. I think the tag match was a little longer. It might have been around 10 minutes, but the Xia Li Rosemary match was a bit quicker. He's talking about how Josh Alexander claims to be everything, or anyone claiming to be the heart and soul of TNA. He's saying he's the foundation, which is kind of true. He's been there for so many years. Oh, he's the gatekeeper of TNA. That's what he's calling himself. I think he's about to mention Steve Macklin. I think they're going to push this feud with Steve Macklin and the Northern Armory just a little further here. But I don't know if Steve Macklin is ready to turn heel. He really just kind of turned face a couple of months ago. Damien's talking about Mustafa Ali maybe showing up in NXT. It definitely could happen. I know Shawn Michaels was high on Mustafa Ali before he got injured, so I don't know. We got MDB saying, I'm not gonna lie, I like Tessa. She's old school. Tessa is interesting, really. If you put what happened aside, Tessa is really a top tier talent, and I've kind of enjoyed her return run with TNA. As I'm trying to catch up with the comments here, but this segment is really kind of interesting. So yeah, they're definitely kind of pushing this feud with Steve Macklin and Eric Young, which I think they should. We got Spaz saying with some dream matches here, Ali versus Axiom would be really cool. I would pay money to see that. Jason is asking, who's this bald kid? It's definitely Eric Young. And if you're talking about the other bald kid, I think that's Travis Williams. So Jose is asking, which Full Sail is it? It's the first one that you type there. It feels weird because it happened so quickly with Eric Young, right? But I think as we kind of move along here, it kind of makes sense of why he turned heel, and I think he was trying to do his best to explain it right there. So I'm interested to kind of see where we go here. And it looks like coming up next, we got JDC from the system taking on Leon Slater in a no disqualification match, which I think is going to be real fun. But yes, Damian Heater has some news here with Josh Matthews and Christy Hemme. They're both gone from TNA at this point. So Christy Hemme, a little shocking with leaving because she had just kind of got rehired, I guess you could say. But now she's gone. And I think really what TNA is trying to do is trying to revamp everything backstage and just start fresh, which is not a bad thing. But people losing their job is always is always a bad thing. But I think they're really trying to restructure the feel of backstage with TNA. So if you see online rumors about TNA going downhill and TNA doing this, it's definitely not the case. TNA is just doing a lot of restructuring, and it's necessary to keep the company growing. And that's what they are doing right now. They're rebuilding, they're growing, they're trying to push TNA back out there to the forefront. TV deals could be coming soon for the United States, and TNA really needs that because Access TV is not available every year. So we just kind of got to be watchful of what things happen here. As Nick comes back and I click on Trevor's comment,
I didn't want to interrupt what was restructuring.
I love Corey Dave, and I don't. But wait, yeah, what? We got Nick returning.
Sorry, what?
I was just saying I was clicking on Trevor's comment who believes I love Corey J and I can't stand her. So
yeah, no. Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. We still got another hour here. Don't poke the bear.
But yeah, so we got the Northern Armory that just came out, and we got I guess his explanation of what he did to Josh Alexander. I think it'd make more sense as we go along here.
Well, I want to ask you this, and I asked it in the chat when I was on my pause and everything. I don't know if you saw this. I'm getting the hype up for Rebellion in LA. Do you see Josh Alexander actually going to AEW?
I want to say no, because the so-called news reporters have been wrong so much in the past year when it comes to someone is a shoo-in to go to AEW. We saw with the Motor City Machine Guns, where are they now? They are in WWE. We saw it with Speedball. He was going to be in the Continental Classic. He is not there now. And then Elias shows up on TNA tonight. He clearly is not with AEW. So I would like to say no, he's not showing up in AEW. But if there's a place where I feel like Josh Alexander may get more exposure-ish, I don't know, it could be AEW. But I think I really want to see him with going to WWE and reforming the North.
See, I'm halfway now of like, I feel like if Josh goes to AEW, I'll get Josh versus Kenny, but it'll be for the international championship. So it's like, cool, I got the match I wanted, but it didn't mean really fuck and all outside of a cool match.
Right. And I don't know. I don't know where we see Josh Alexander at this point. You can't believe anything what people say online, the so-called reporters. So I don't know. I don't know what this segment is, but this looks interesting.
It's Macklin and what I'm assuming, or Santana.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna throw this out there, and I don't want to say anything disparaging of Mike Santana because I think he's absolutely awesome. And I'm waiting until he shows up at a la Moose in NXT. But I feel like this is an AA thing. Like, I feel like he's been open about that. I think I saw him mention on Twitter of like he's X amount of years sober and everything else. Now here comes Mustafa.
This feud between these two, when it starts, is gonna heat up quickly.
Because Santana feels like that guy that's raw, or like us. We even end every show with it, but is raw, authentic. Like that's him. He is 100%. There is no paid, none of this. There is no faking, none of this. This is just him. And Mustafa has managed to tap in and feel like that politician so well.
Exactly. This is more of Yeah, this is not an extension of Mike Santana. This is him, like you're saying.
Right. And most of all, this is why I get mad of, because I feel like this is what he was doing in WWE before Vincent Sex Pest, decided he didn't want him to be there anymore and everything. But like, he's so talented and he really throws himself into what he's doing. Like, if he's going to do it, he's behind it fully.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
This is interesting. Mike Santana hasn't moved, hasn't said anything.
He's got a big gash on his forehead.
Yeah. And him having the good hands behind him and Tasha Steelz, I think this is great.
And he just whispers in Santana's ear and just stops him. Like, there's some fucking Marvel Captain America shit.
Exactly. He says things can change, but people like you don't. So that's
I'm swinging on you.
That's a big dig to Mike Santana.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm swinging on you more with that, or if you saw last night with MJF Tua on Hangman. Like, I don't know which one of those more I'm swinging on you about, but I'm swinging on you.
Right. If somebody spits on me, I'm swinging on them immediately. Now we got the segment from NXT this week.
And again, this was just shock and awe. This was again how even tonight started, of one of those moments like you almost need to pinch yourself. Like, am I dreaming this? Like, am I actually live? Or did I just fantasy book the segment? I'm just watching it now, or is this actually what's happening here?
Right. And the X Division Championship being defended on NXT next week is wild, especially it being like, the mainstay title in TNA.
Do we see, or actually it could be both or either, an Ultimate X match at Stand and Deliver, and or Oba versus Moose at Stand and Deliver? I feel like that at this point is your headline match going into Stand and Deliver.
I could see more of Oba versus Moose, only because who does Oba have left, right? Who does Oba really have left?
I thought he was going to beat 4 men. I thought he was going to beat that whole faction by himself.
So if you build something like that, you got a month or so, a month and a half, 2 months to build that. I think Oba versus Moose could headline Stand and Deliver. I'm still banking on Jordan Grace's tweet of seeing the X Division, the Ultimate X match at a WrestleMania. Might not be this year's WrestleMania, but I'm banking on that. I got that bookmark because she said bookmark it, and I bookmarked it.
I still could see it at, like, say, a Stand and Deliver, and that could very much steal WrestleMania weekend as far as match of the night, depending on how they do it, what they do as far as the X Division. If it's really, you just let the small guys like a Kevin Knight, a Leon Slater, Javon Evans, etc., just really use the bungees. 100%. That steals the show. That steals the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see an X Division match, maybe around Slammiversary. I don't know, but I feel like Stand and Deliver would be an excellent place to have that Ultimate X match. And I think I said X Division match earlier, but the Ultimate X match.
Same thing, different.
Same sound.
Yeah, same sound, different round. As I've got JDC, I still want to always call him Dango. That's even why I popped when he showed up on NXT, which we halfway got an answer of if the TNA guys or gals who were former WWE, if they show up in WWE, they still got a tinge of that ex WWE, because we got
exactly. I like how he addressed it and then immediately was like, but I'm here to represent TNA in the system. So it was a good callback. Absolutely.
Right. But who you got in this match, sir? Who you got in this match, chat? You got
I'm
Leon Slater or JDC? What?
I'm taking Leon. Leon has been on the up and up here in TNA. I still remember his match with Speedball Mike Bailey. I think it was before Bound for Glory, I think. But yeah, it cooked. It cooked.
Leon Slater is the guy I think you can strap a rocket to. Of you can take 2025 and you by the time you get into 2026, he's world title caliberish.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is really bold, but I really feel like he could be the one to dethrone Moose as X Division champion. That's bold and
Ooh.
wild to think, but he could definitely be the one.
Now, does Moose get beaten for the X Division, or does he vacate it to take a shot at Oba?
It could be the case where, and he's been outspoken about it a little bit about not taking option C, but he could use the option C and challenge for the NXT title. I don't know if that would work. It's a partnership. It could work. You know, he can't challenge for the world title as being or challenge for the NXT title as being X Division champion. So he has to take option C and vacate the title. I don't know. That might be cool.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the best case scenario. Of everybody looks strong. Everybody, you've got a wide open field for. We're going to see a new X Division champion crowned here tonight, and say that's the first time you debut Ultimate X in front of a WWE, a wider audience.
Yeah.
As we got a table.
Tables coming out.
Is this no DQ? No count out?
No DQ.
Okay. I was wondering why, Leon Slater out here looking more bandaged, than a hospital ward and got more layers on than a fucking alpaca. Man can't get the table up. There we go.
He was struggling a little bit. He was definitely struggling.
Right.
So JDC has the upper hand right now, but
this man just jumped over the table. Why in the 35, 36 years or so of wrestling that I've been watching, that's since birth, that no one's ever done that shit ever before? just jump over it.
Wild. Since he set up the table, I'm guessing he's going to be the one that goes through the table.
Yeah, such is the laws of wrestling. They who set it up must go through it.
Absolutely.
Oh!
That was nice.
This man just leapfrogged the turnbuckle post into a full swanton 450 something or other.
Right.
In the JDC on the outside.
You got the crowd live for this.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I'm saying. Of you do an X Division, you got him, you've got a Javon Evans, you got all the guys with all the bungees who are going to do all the flips, all the tricks and everything, and really go back to that like Ultimate X where you had Eli Skipper hitting the fucking Hurricane Run off the top of the little cage and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. With Leon Slater going through a chair there.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
He's in despair. He took a tear through the chair.
Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with Nick for just a second here. So
you take a pause for the cause. As there we go. Yes, Anthony's taking a pause for the cause. I've got JDC rolling in, Leon Slater trying to go for the 1, 2, 3. Dos amigos, dos. Yeah, out to that chair spot. Any sort of backdrop. Well, the worst one is like the Adam Cole spot, like with him, Malachi, to where he takes. It's all spinal. As I go to commercial break in the middle of that. But so yes. As JDC right now, technically in control of Leon Slater. Is anyone else's audio off? Not I, but then again, I also am talking quite a bit, so I don't fully listen to the audio. Slater should be the one to dethrone Moose. We'll see. You got that MDB. I can put my finger on it. You so right. What did MDB say? Now I got to scroll up. No Dairy Queen. I don't. Anyways, but I will remind everybody as I'm getting a commercial right now for Queen of the Ring. Again, hashtag not sponsored, but we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We do this for anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. We do what we do because other people can't do what we do. But back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow night for Friday night SmackDown, which even then they announced the whole 6-man tag match of Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa versus Braun Strowman, Damian Priest, and Cody Rhodes. So absolutely stacked 3 hours of SmackDown. Sunday, we're back here for a members only stream. So 100% make sure you become a member, all of that. And then again, we're just rolling right through everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA, Dynamite, etc. And we're on the road to Elimination Chamber, which is actually surprisingly coming up fast. But yes, be a friend, tell a friend. We're on the road to 7K subscribers. We've been flirting around at times with triple digits viewers. So let's see if we can hit 7K subscribers, all that, while we're watching a live TNA. Because how many other people out here watching a live TNA? Don't worry, I'll wait. I digress. Kevin, what up? Jose, wow. What? Are you saying wow that I actually completed a coherent thought? Or are you saying wow as in the promotion of Women of Wrestling? If you're talking about wow is actually super hard to find, I feel. I heard the chair spot 5 seconds before I saw it. Fair enough. I have not had that issue, Jose. But Kevin, what up? Paul, did I just see The Rock post he is going to be on SmackDown? The Rock is on SmackDown tomorrow? No, hold on. Anyone, fact checkers? Did someone out there help me? I got to try and look this up now as I've got TNA trying to pitch their merch here. I will try and see if I can confirm or deny. Is this going to be one of those things that it's from like Wrestle Votes instead of Wrestle Votes or something like that? Because last I saw that Dwayne's supposed to be starring in a Martin Scorsese film and everything. So like he's for sure not making WrestleMania. Dwayne is so official like a referee whistle. Holy sugar honey iced tea. Official from Dwayne Johnson's Twitter profile 6 minutes ago. Bold and disruptive. Unpredictable and dangerous. The final boss returns live on SmackDown tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on USA Network. Again, folks, 100%. We're covering this live more than anybody else out there. And that's proof positive with all of that of official like a referee whistle straight from the Brahma Bull's mouth. It is the final boss. He even put it as the final boss, not The Rock. The final boss will be live on SmackDown tomorrow night when we've already got it announced of Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre. We've already got it announced of Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, and Christ, at this point, I'm so verklempt, I forgot the last man involved in it and everything. But and that's the thing is, so we've talked about this at length, at nauseum at times, as Leon Slater just straight off the top rope with a kendo stick with a karate move for a 2 count. But yeah, again, I don't know if this wants to count towards the ratings for TNA or not, but like, holy, The Rock showing up on SmackDown, just unannounced, literally just out the blue. And again, we've talked about this at length, at nauseum of there is no point now. Like, this is the threshold. This is now or never. If you're going to do Roman Rock, this is it. This is the only way. This is the situation. This is, the Titanic here of you either fucking hit the iceberg or you dodge it. This is going to be really interesting of, does he show up? Does he insert himself to the Elimination Chamber? Does he address and just say completely, I'm not at WrestleMania? Like, I swear to God, and thank you for everybody that Send it into the chat. I can say words. But again, 100%, that's to me super out the blue. That's a really big moment right there of what is going to happen here. Is it going to be he goes back to Dwayne and sales pitches and this and that, and he's a baby face? Is he leans towards the Roman angle? Is it something with Chamber? Is it something with Cody? He is such a wild card, and I will say this: I hope that it's a final piss to get off the pot moment of it's cool that he's here, but I need to know if you're gonna be here in the long run or if we're not going there. I can't keep dealing with this of the back and forth because it's losing steam. As Leon Slater, this man, Swanton style 450. I mean, if the Russian judge even gives that an 11 when it comes to the diving score here, but this man, like straight up, it initially looks like a Swanton bomb and then he spins it around into a 450. But good God, of going for the cover. Oh, the system breaks it up. Moose! We have a Moose sighting. This chat breaks more news than Twitter. Breaks more actual news. And that's the thing, though, too, is even when we talk about something, we try and make sure that it was, as factual and actual as it can be and everything. We don't say we're journalists. We just, tell you what other people are saying as JDC gets the onesies. Leon Slater after the system interferes, and Moose is here, and this is going to set up Oba. This is what this is going to be. We've laid bait into the trap. He's in the trap. See, and just one table, too. Yeah. And he didn't have to get stuck in barbed wire with it either. Leon, so talented, absolutely. That was sick, absolutely. Bradley, what up, my guy? I don't know if I've said hi to you. Here's this. Yes. Get a boots. Oh, it's the Hardys. God damn it. I was expecting Oba. The Hardys. And it's always weird to see Jeff come out and not do. Like, your brother was getting his ass kicked and you still danced. Why aren't you dancing now? But yeah, so again, the system just working over the Hardys. This is where we're going to get. I'm still telling you, we're going to get Oba coming out here. And even the odds. Yes, lights out. We're getting the ruler, the master, and the ruler of the NXT universe as Oba Femi coming out here. This is some straight Street Fighter shit. This is just fucking Titan on Titan. I know Jacob Fatu did the whole promo of, King Kong and Godzilla, because I'm both of them. But this is Kaiju Big Battle out here with Moose going toe-to-toe with Oba here as Oba just dismantling the system. I think I have a system appearing, but I don't know if
I wasn't missing this. I wasn't missing this.
You heard the call of the ruler.
So he just took out the system, it looks like.
Oh, he unplugged all the wires. He reset the router. That system is shut down right now.
So there we go. Oba shows up on TNA television.
Oba is the baby face in this situation, which is insane a little bit. Like, he has the Jacob Fatu syndrome of he's so over as just being a badass. I can't help but root for him. Like, he's out here with the Hardy Boys.
So he's standing tall with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
It seems like we got two big breaking news. We got The Rock showing up tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on that? I read it in real time and was like, no, y'all lying.
Yeah, The Rock showing up tomorrow. And then Elijah apparently has officially signed with TNA. So got some big news. The Rock showing up leads to speculation of getting that Roman and Rock match at WrestleMania. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like Roman should also be there because we haven't seen him since the Royal Rumble, right? So yeah, SmackDown, after having some lackluster episodes since turning 3 hours, this might be really good tomorrow.
Is this one of those of like, hey, Dwayne, the ship might be sinking a little bit here. We need to make a splash tidal wave here, because that's the thing is, I don't know how you feel. I just want him showing up to be definitive one way or the other when it comes to WrestleMania. Either we're going towards an angle, or I can't do it. I'll be a fucking host or whatever. That would still be weird, but I need to know. I can't do this pussyfooting around with everything anymore.
I feel like tomorrow we'll definitely get an answer of where we're heading to with WrestleMania. We still really need the answer to what happened at Bad Blood with him coming out, putting up his fat fingers.
I saw someone that said, I'm not showing up at Royal Rumble or at Survivor Series, at Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania.
Right. So I don't know.
He wasn't showing up at.
So we'll see. And I'm seeing now that it's actually, I don't want to use the word apparently, but it's confirmed that Elijah has signed with TNA. I'm waiting for the TNA graphic, but that's what it appears to be.
Is that what we need now? Is the stamp of approval of like Elijah is all nonstop instead of all elite?
That it should at this point, because it seems like people are gravitating towards TNA, maybe because, and I believe you said this in the past, this could be their foothold into WWE with the partnership or back to WWE.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like people are gravitating towards that TNA wrestling, and people think TNA doesn't have money. It's not TNA that doesn't have the money. It's the company behind them that has the money to sign these folks.
Oh, Anthem. Well, and they're very much doing all of the kind of readjusting of funds, because I guess good old D'Amore was like, you're my friend, I pay you all the money.
Right.
But how many people got recently released from WWE that we could see showing up in TNA, and then in 6 months, a year's time, end up back in WWE or back on NXT, what have you?
At least back on WWE TV. Indy Hartwell is one. I could see showing back up on NXT if she does sign with TNA. So you never know what this might bring, really. And for years, TNA has been that company where you try to find yourself again, like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley and things of that sort, and then they end up back in WWE. Didn't really work out for Bobby Lashley this time around. He did get 2 world titles, but McIntyre is still going strong.
Right. As we got the system all discombobulated, they're trying to restart the system. They unplugged it and plugged it back in. Oh, Myers, pull down your shirt, my guy. You're wearing a schmedium when you're an extra large. Santina Morella.
Oh, so next week is Moose and the other 2 members of the system versus Matt and Jeff Hardy and Oba. Oh my God.
Oh.
This is good.
This is insane.
Right.
Like, what is pro wrestling right now in 2025?
Exactly. Well, for all the folks that say that NXT or WWE hasn't sent their top talent, they've sent their top talent in Oba Femi.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, the thing that's halfway misconstrued of this is, as much as it's a WWE TNA deal, it's much more an NXT TNA deal.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Tessa Blanchard, which she's not dressed to wrestle, even though she's supposed to wrestle. So I guess we have to listen to what she has to say here. I mean, the ring announcer was standing in the ring like she was ready to announce a match.
I don't know. My whole feeling and thoughts and opinions I feel on this is just like moans and groans of just.
I mean, and that's fair. I've come to the point to kind of separate what she did to the ring performer that she is. So I just kind of I'm at the point to
But
just talking about her wrestling.
do you even think that she's that good now? Like, has she separated it? Like, is it? It's one of those of now. Is she as good? You know, even if you want to look at that exclusively, because even right now, her promo, she comes off as an annoyance, a bore, a snore. I feel
Well,
versus
I believe she comes off as an annoyance because that is actually her new character, which she's been running. But you can't deny her match with Jordan Grace at Genesis. Neither one of those two carried the match. Both of them put in half work to get that match to the greatness, and it was one of the best matches so far this year in wrestling. And we still got months to go, but she's up there.
Does she have the Charlotte Flair effect of it's more a little bit of shut up and wrestle of like you're not that great on the stick, so show what you can do more in the ring? I guess if you well, like you mentioned with Jordan Grace and her at Genesis, show more of that. Show just do the good wrestling versus just the character work, the promo work, because you're opening yourself up to all of this negativity.
I really honestly think I think she's leaning technically into that negativity. And that's why she's playing the role that she's playing, more of an annoyance, more as an entitled brat, if you want to say. Charlotte is kind of playing that same kind of moment right now too, as being entitled. So I think she's just really just playing into that role.
Right.
But here comes Santino, since she's not dressed to wrestle. So
wow. Good. I'm glad you came out to handle these incompetent people. I'm here to talk to you.
yeah, and I know he said if she didn't wrestle, it would be consequences. So I don't know what those are.
Tessa, we are coming for you. I'm sick and tired of this, just like everyone here is sick and tired of it. See, that's the thing. I think her in ring can excuse a lot of her not good, like promo interview ability.
I don't think anyone. I don't want to say anyone because I don't mind Tessa talking. It doesn't bother me. But Masha.
Somebody gonna get hurt real bad. I mean, that would if you're gonna do Masha versus Tasha.
And Masha coming out with
Tessa, but that's another, like you mentioned, of with like Jordan Grace and Tessa, of that's one that the match quality will circumvent everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I like this new Masha with the jacket.
I want to know how much do clothes cost in the Matrix. I'm a huge Masha fan. I take umbrage with the PWI. I think it was a year or two ago to where she was higher in the men's or higher overall than she was in the women's. I want to recount on that, but she's very much taken the mantle from Jordan Grace as like knockouts champion.
Oh yeah,
dominant factor.
She's definitely the one you got to beat.
Right.
So who is Masha wrestling?
Why the fuck isn't it Tessa? What the fuck so Tessa was supposed to wrestle, got away with not wrestling, and Masha, who wasn't supposed to wrestle, is wrestling right now, folks. If you're following along, paint by numbers. Mila Moore. So this woman has just been standing in the fucking ring doing fuck and all.
Right after Masha. So Santino said if she doesn't wrestle next week, she'll be fired. So it got pushed another week. Ooh.
Spinning back elbow better than Jericho's Judas, I think.
Requiem.
1, 2,
that was quick. Light work for Masha.
Oh, absolutely. Jobber Smosh, and she's got her own little version of the Rio Sexy Pin.
Yeah, so it's definitely Masha versus some local talent tonight.
Yeah, but I still find it funny of like, oh, Cora!
Oh, Cora
Ah,
Jade.
Ah. You're gonna get Cora Jade and Tessa Blanchard tag teaming together, and the IWC is going to go nuclear. It's
Right.
pronounced nuclear.
I can't do this with Cora Jade. I can't.
Oh, come on. You don't like the paper mache skateboard, the enhancements, the black and purple, doing the little dog walk, kick the dirt on Masha.
Kind of want to see what interaction Cora Jade might have with Tessa as she walks up the ramp.
That's why I'm wondering if we end up this with some sort of a tag match, play a holla holla holla. I had no idea Cora's taller than Tessa. Or it might be the heels. Maybe it's
Right.
Mabel.
It might
I
be
don't
the
know.
heels. So Cora Jade says she's not worried about Tessa. That's kind of funny.
Oh, we're gonna get a fucking triple threat. I thought we were gonna get a tag. Now we're gonna get a triple threat.
I think they're setting up for Cora and Masha. If it's not gonna be a triple threat, but it'd be Cora and Masha at Sacrifice in a couple of weeks here.
And so what does Tessa do? Just interfere?
And she's avoiding to wrestle at this point, so she could be at ringside.
Well, she got to wrestle at some point, or she gonna get
She got to
fired.
wrestle at some point. She could be at ringside to watch to see who wins, so she can face them at Rebellion maybe, or Unbreakable, which I don't know. Unbreakable comes first, but I think you would probably save that match for Rebellion. We'll see.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think you could do the triple threat and then you build out of that into a singles match, but
True.
vice versa, same thing, essentially. Opposite ends of the same coin, as I'm in commercial break right now. For Sacrifice.
I was hoping with the new regime, they would kind of move the TNA monthly specials off of Fridays, but it seems like that they're not going to do that. But this is right now the only scheduled Friday show they have so far this year. So I don't know. Maybe they are going to eventually move them off to Fridays.
Well, would you move them to Thursdays and keep them still within that same time slot of your regular TV show, or do you move them to Saturdays and compete with potentially Collision, WWE, etc.?
I would say they could move them to Thursdays until I found out that Unbreakable is going to be on Thursday after a TNA episode. So it's like they're going to have TNA, they're going to have Impact, and then they're going to have Unbreakable at 10. So it's like that's like 4.5 hours of TNA programming when you can replace Impact that night. So I don't know. I feel like you would have to try to weave it in the schedule where you're not on the same weekend as WWE or AEW, which is kind of hard at this point because it seems like there's a pay-per-view almost every other week with both of those companies.
Yeah, and that's it's a little bit of pussyfooting and everything, I feel a bit. And that's still crazy to me if they were going to do it like weekly show and then pay-per-view essentially right after it. Sounds like AEW, but if they at least just replace it up Thursdays. TNA owns Thursdays. Thursday night, and when it comes to pro wrestling, you at bare minimum think of TNA. So
exactly.
If you had your premium live events, what have you, instead of a weekly episode, what have you, that's your best slot, and you avoid the bending the knee a bit of having to work around other promotions and other shows and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you.
But Daryl, what up? Sacrifice coming back, Anthony. Who pop up there? A lot of TNA legends wrestle there.
Sacrifice actually has been around. That was one name they didn't let go. So Sacrifice actually has been around. But You know, if you want to put somebody's name in the bucket to show up at Sacrifice, everybody is wanting some AJ Styles to show back up.
Does he does he have a last run? I know he turned away the Hall of Fame because he's still an active wrestler, but does he kind of have his last run in TNA?
I think he could pull out a small run in TNA before he officially retires. Because I think everybody wants to see it. Jordan Grace has even said she want to see AJ Styles back in TNA for a little bit. She even mentioned Naomi showing back up in TNA for a little bit with this crossover. So at this point, I know it's NXT and WWE, but we need all of them to show up at this point.
Right. Well, we've got the Morellas talking about March 14th. But TNA Knockouts champion. Oh, so we're getting the match announced. Cora Jade.
Yeah. Cora Jade.
I know Ariana Grace, Ariana Grande, whichever one it is, one of the Arianas, is supposed to be in NXT, but she works so well side by side. Her father just the shite pageant queen that did.
She really does. So Masha versus Cora Jade, as Santino said, at Sacrifice.
Oh, we've got your gals, the Elegance. Oh,
that referee was a moron because you know the wrong wrestler was pinned. The legal wrestler was not pinned in that match.
Don't you be siding with their consigliere, their concierge. Me and him still got to run that. Hey, Spitfire. Love me some Danny Luna. Tony Hayes bringing up, this might dig at you, Anthony. So it's cool to be on TNA now.
It is. I think it's always been cool to be on TNA now. Right. So TNA is cooking. Right. Santino looks like he's pondering over a decision. Just make the match happen.
Do it. Yeah, do it. I will calibration Spice Champion. I'll have you know. MDB just taking up for KJ. Oh, Jody's red. Oh, we need a tag titles rematch.
Right.
Wrestler Rants TNA, we're cooking now. Absolutely. Oh, what the? All right.
Okay. Where are we going?
In the tooth? Long in the tooth? The personal concierge. Oh, so the concierge gets a match. Ho, ho, ho. I can't wait to see this.
That's a nice twist.
Kick his ass, Seabass. A rematch. So is it? So wait, if I'm reading through the tea leaves here, it is their concierge versus Dana Luna, and if he wins, they get a rematch.
No, so basically he's saying if he grants the rematch between these two, if the Elegances win, if the Elegances lose, they have to be the concierge to Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Thread.
Oh,
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's even better than what I said.
Oh, I was like, who is this coming out? Because he
Ryan
always comes out to Nick Nemeth music, but it's Ryan. But I forgot Nick Nemeth won't be on this show because he is suspended for 4 weeks. So
because he touched Santina.
Exactly.
But Ryan Nemeth out here right now, folks, as ooh. Oh. He's one of those, like, you don't even have to, like, you can just look at him and know who his brother is type of shit. Like, I know what family you're from.
Exactly.
You're a Nemeth or a Gronkowski, one of them two fucks.
Oh, he is so annoying. And if he wants to distance himself from Nick Nemeth, calling him his big brother every 5 minutes is not going to help.
Oh no, that's, you know, that's his linchpin. That's his way in the door. That's his foot in the door into this whole situation.
Right. All right, so he shows back up at Sacrifice. So I did the math right a couple of weeks ago when he got suspended because I wasn't sure.
Fair enough. If Dolph wasn't in TNA, would Ryan be in LFG?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be as relevant as he is now.
I mean, he might beat out BJ Ray. I don't know.
He wouldn't be as relevant now if Nick Nemeth wasn't in TNA. We can say that.
I'm here to snore the world. I'm here to snore the world. Come on. Yes, that's Sacrifice. Masha Slamovich putting the Knockouts title on the line against Cora Jade.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. In my head, I'm trying to figure out when we could get Oba versus Moose. Putting them in tag team action next week is wild. I really need them to push it out to Stand and Deliver or Unbreakable.
Main event. Oh, I think we get them in a singles match at Stand and Deliver.
Hopefully.
Right. Oh, we're gonna go with this. But
TNA is definitely cooking right now. So
go ahead. No, I was just going to ask you. Well, it's going to be more of a question when it comes to the end of the show of right now, end of the week, of which show was the better show when it comes to TNA versus NXT, because it's surprising that those are the two candidates. Fuck a Raw, fuck us. Well, we'll see with SmackDown now because Dwayne's showing up, but Dynamite ain't in there. Dynamite was half a show. Wrestling right now has been very much weekly television, has been dominated by NXT and TNA.
No, facts. Raw was. I didn't really enjoy Raw this week. NXT was on fire, and I'm not the NXT cheerleader like MDB is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But NXT was really good. NXT was up there. Dynamite started off good and kind of fell off at the end. And for me, I'm trying not to be biased with TNA, but TNA has really been good. The only downer to me was that AJ Francis segment. The matches have been a little bit shorter than normal, but I believe they're trying to fit in as many promos they can in this live episode. I would put TNA and NXT on par. And I think I gave NXT an 8. So
it is, to me, it is followed the exact same playbook. This is Spider 2 Y Banana when it comes to this week in television, when it comes to wrestling, because started off super hot, have the segment that carries over, have the little tease of the fake out, have the bigger moment and everything, have a bit of a lull. We saw it with NXT with Not You, and now with TNA we saw it with AJ Francis and I can't remember Casey Navarro. I don't know their faction name. And then it still kind of built up, and much like with NXT, we had the tease, we had this started off a bit with Jordan Grace, and now we're ending with the main event of, much like Jordan Grace showed up, Elias shows up, Elijah shows up tonight. Now that's the main event, and it's a tag team match. It's the same playbook. It's, let me copy your homework, but don't make it look like you cheated.
No, absolutely. It did follow the similar format of NXT this week. That's why it's really up there as being one of the best wrestling shows this week. That begs the question with SmackDown tomorrow and The Rock showing up and it's being officially announced. Even though SmackDown is 3 hours, We can't grade it just off of that Rock segment. We got to grade it off of the whole 3 hours tomorrow because SmackDown been booty juice for like the past 5 weeks. So
right, but we've got We Believe chance right now, and it's still insane to me. Like literally, as we're here talking about how TNA is arguably one of the best shows of the week and everything, after NXT was arguably the best show of the week. And they were turning around and got breaking news of SmackDown's got Dwayne showing up just out the in blue and everything. Like, what is wrestling in 2025? It was 2024. We felt like a decade in a year, and now we're feeling like a millennia in a year, and we're only a month in.
Exactly. It's been so much happening in wrestling over the past month and a half. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're still in February. We haven't even. It's a short month and we still haven't made it out of that. But we got Henry and Elijah taking on the Cologne. So, folks, let us know who you're taking. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. We've been hovering around the 70s, the 80s. I don't know what we're at. I'm looking right now to see where we're at with likes. We're at 101 likes. Let's see if we can at least, put a nice little 111 up there before we go home tonight. But tag into Elijah.
And according to Twitter, they already announced their next live episode, which it looks like is going to be Thursday, May 1st.
All right, California. So everyone, you got till May 1st to find a promo code to, get some TNA Plus, to find an access, all of that, so we can be back here like a jackrabbit with TNA Live.
Right.
It's so crazy to me to see now Elijah and a TNA. Like, this shows you that people that normally you would halfway expect go to an AEW. Like, at one point it was you got released from WWE, you're going to AEW, and then whatever AEW didn't want, TNA side. Now it's flipped.
And
we're getting an old school walk with Elijah.
That's nice. And which I think is really cool. I feel like Elias or Elijah was in NXT, right? He was in NXT, and I think he was in Full Sail NXT.
Yeah,
so making his debut in TNA Full Sail, kind of a full circle moment, if you want to say.
Absolutely. Well, full sail, full circle. He is fully set sail on his TNA non-WWE wrestling journey. But yeah. Well, they went to commercial. I thought the lights cut out. Fuck.
Brandon, I think, has mentioned this a few times and a few others, but I need Deonna Purrazzo to not be in AEW anymore. I was trying not to be like that person, don't sign. And now I'm like, you shouldn't have signed because you did way more in TNA than you have done. You're not even on television. And I really want Deonna, Taya too, but I really want Deonna to either come back to TNA or go somewhere where she's utilized.
But so fair enough. And I will agree with you on that. And there's two ways I feel like I could go with this, but I'll ask you this first because it's been the story of the day floating around allegedly of women's wrestlers in WWE not exactly being happy with the current creative, the current stories and everything that they have for that division. How does that sit with you and all that?
I think when it comes to the WWE women's division, there's a difference between being utilized and then actually having stories for the women. I believe that the women are being utilized, not the greatest, but they're being utilized fairly decent. But there's a lack of stories in there with the women's division. You have the two mid-card titles, and really the only one that's been kind of strong is Chelsea Green and Meechin, and I know a Bird Lady just won the IC title, Lyra, but it took them 3 weeks to finally start something. She won the title, then you saw her smiling in the crowd for like 2 weeks, and now we're finally kind of doing something. I just feel like there's not enough time And you got 3 hours of SmackDown, you got 2.5 hours of Raw, and I feel like there's just not enough effort put into the women's division. I was at Raw roughly 3 weeks ago, and there was one women's match, and I was kind of disappointed. I don't know. I think they're doing well with the women's division, but they're also in a way not doing well. It's like you're utilizing them, but there's not enough stories, to go around. And then the tag team division, the tag team titles, it felt like Triple H was trying to do something last year, summer of last year, and now you don't really have anything with Bianca Belair and Naomi as tag team champions, and we still waiting for Jade and what happens with that. So I don't know. To me, the women's division right now is kind of up in the air in WWE.
Well, speaking of up in the air, failure to execute, I guess, of which the women's division would you say has more in turmoil of? Did you see the why I oughta chair spot with Thunder Rosa last night of the most awkward run-in that I think has ever happened in pro wrestling?
Yeah, I did. That was very awkward what happened after the match. AEW still has the most struggling women's division out there. The Knockouts division is in the process of rebuilding, but it doesn't lessen the quality of the matches that the Knockouts have, with the exception of tonight, because like I said, I feel like they were just trying to cram in promos tonight. NXT arguably, might not even be arguably, has the best women's division in the world right now. And I'm saying that as a strong TNA fan. The main roster just got to spice it up a little bit. Someone said on Twitter earlier today, which I kind of agree with, that there needs to be a woman booking the women's division. Gail Kim books the Knockouts division, and I feel like she does it well. And I feel like that could benefit in WWE. You can have a Mickie James do it, or somewhere in that realm.
That's very interesting that you mentioned Mickie James, because I've been an advocate of her still wrestling in WWE, or even her teaming with Fallon and all of that. As Joe Hendry with the Fallaway Slammers, we do still have the Sound of Music taking on the Colognes, I guess, is the best way that I can come up with a tag team name for Hendry and Elijah. But I could very much see that point of having, like, Sean's in charge of NXT, Hunter's in charge of the main roster. If you had an actual female creative person in charge of the women's division and everything, and what, like, had a voice in all of that, my question is, who would it be? I know you said Mickie, but Mickey's still active, and I don't know how many active or former women's wrestlers have good booking sense or anything.
And honestly, I really don't know how active Mickie James is, because she really hasn't wrestled a match in over a year. I think it has been. So if
Maybe
Mickie
the
is
LFG's a way for her in.
it could be. If Mickie James is not an active wrestler, she would be my first choice. Outside of Mickie, if you want to throw in some really good legends, you could have a Jacqueline or a Jazz. Because I know Jazz works with independent wrestling and booking women. You could have one of those
NWA territory owner.
Yeah. So you can have something like that. Mickie James would be the top of my list. I don't think Mickie James is completely done wrestling, but I do think she's not going to be a full-time wrestler anymore. I definitely can say
fair. That. I could see that. I mean, a la her husband and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Christ, you got HBK out there still saying, I might have one more match in me. Cool, Sean. No one wants to see that match. Same thing with Rick. No one wants to see that. You might have it. No one wants to see it.
Exactly.
I can go one more round, baby. Cool. I don't want that. No one wants that. Just keep it to yourself. Go do it in the bathroom. I don't know. Medusa, Tony Khan should have hired for the win. No, Daryl. No. Well, he hired Christ one referee and proceeded to pay her to do nothing. But anyways,
is that Aubrey Edwards or no?
Well, no. That I like that because I've never seen a human being pay a horse a salary outside of fucking Mr. Ed and everything. Wilbur. Fucking secretariat is fucking Aubrey Edwards there. But right now, this is going to be harder to guess than other tag teams. Is this Primo or is this Epico? Which one? Which cologne am I talking
I
through?
don't know. I want to say it's Epico, but I'm not sure.
There you go. Well, and it's not even that they have it on the back of their tights like you would expect. If it just says cologne, well, that's normally where your cologne is, or something around that name. Wrestlers shouldn't be booking anyway. Well, that's Paul. That's a given. Christ, WCW is the biggest litmus test for that. Of never let someone who's on the show book the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm hopeful, at least when it comes to AEW standpoint, that Harley Cameron does come back around to the TBS champion, to the TBS championship, because like I feared, we're moving right along from that to Mercedes Moné facing someone else, and I'm not saying their name because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mono Watanabe.
There you go. Facing someone else at Revolution. So I don't know. It's just like I think we could have dragged this on a little bit more and Harley Cameron take the TBS championship. But if Mercedes Moné is doing her own booking, then yeah, we know where that goes.
Yes. Well, I'm through arrays torn asunder when it comes to this, as we're getting trade-offs. Oh, Henry reverses out of the neck into a suplex. But Harley Cameron, I've now gotten sold on through KJ and the chat, and probably even a little bit yourself, sir, and all that. She's what the fans want. Momo Watanabe is what Tony and the Meltzers want. And honestly, I'm not fully opposed to it because she is super talented. Like, my wife doesn't watch a ton of wrestling, but she likes Japanese Joshi wrestling and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But like, to me, it's just so it's not fully feels AW. Like, even Tony Storm, that I question as Elias with a splash in the corner, but even Tony Storm, who I question where she was going after she beat Spinebuster. Goddamn. One, two, dos. Tony Storm's promo last night set the tone for her being the top of that division again, and really elevated that whole division and made it feel prominent again.
Yeah.
I've said it for the longest time. I feel like Mercedes is going to hold that belt until they retire it, or she retires, whichever comes first.
Yeah. At this point, that's where it seems like it's going. Oh, and this tag team match is pretty good here.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
ooh,
jumping knee. Oh, Joe Hendry dumps one of the colognes.
Are they gonna have Elias pick up the pin here?
Absolutely. Man's about to hit a tombstone. Debut. One, two, three. Hell of a you said it, but I mean, the man debuted tonight, everything. He was the linchpin. It's like when Jordan showed up earlier this week on NXT, and she turns around and gets the win to close out NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. Really a cool full circle moment for him, being in NXT in Full Sail and then making his debut with TNA in Full Sail. So this is great for him. I'm interested to see. They got some top guys now, really, in TNA. Joe Hendry, Elias, Mike Santana, Ali. Like they're really rebuilding the division here.
TNA has a sneaky lineup. TNA is one of those that you don't realize their roster as they go off the air, folks. With both men up in the corners. I thought we might have seen an Elias heel turn tonight or an Elijah heel turn, but like you were saying, they have a super sneaky roster. It's one of those you're playing a game, you're rolling through the rosters of who's on this team, who's on that team, and then you click over to TNA and you go look. Oh, that's an 81, that's an 85, that's an 88. They got a lot of 80s here and everything like that. They got a deep roster here.
Yeah, that's what it seems like now. So I feel like now that we're kind of in this stage with the main event scene with the men, I think we'll be doing the same thing here soon with the knockouts division. So solid show tonight. Solid show.
I gotta ask. Well, first John's saying Maria Kanellis has booked ROH before her. Well, was Maria booking ROH or not? I'm
not sure
for sure. Yeah, I can't confirm that, John, but I know she was backstage. Even her, Mike Bennett, you get, that part of the kingdom show back up in TNA wouldn't be a bad show. Paul, with all due respect, Nick, F you, I would definitely see Shawn Michaels match 10-1 against the Undertaker player. Fair enough. I mean, I don't want to see that. I can simulate that, and it's going to end up with a lot less CTE and broken hips. But, sir, that ends TNA. How are you feeling? Like, how your overall rating? Everyone in the chat also give us your rating out of 10 and everything. And is that so far your show of the week?
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna stick to my earlier rating. I'm gonna give it the same rating I gave NXT, which was an 8. So I can't really say which one was better because I gave them the same rating. I think they both hit very well. Both used similar formats this week, like you pointed out. So TNA and NXT, just the top 2 shows this week so far. I guess that's how I can answer that one.
I mean, I hate to really dispute it. I mean, I guess I could say of how, they both had really great moments. If you had Moose show up on one and you had Elijah's debut on the other, and right. Maybe I lean towards that because I called it. Just going to say that again. I called it.
Right, you did. I said you called it, yeah.
Right, but yeah, no. Humble brag. But I don't know if I gave NXT this rating, but TNA gets it and NXT should have had it. If it's a 9 out of 10, I feel like you can have there was a bit of a lull. I mean, you had the big surprise. You had everybody fucking jazzed for the whole hour, and maybe you dipped a tone into a lower tier there, but you kept it like it brings back the same vibes of when we were here for NXT of didn't want to take a pause because I don't know what I'm going to miss. And that's how TNA felt tonight. I don't want to step away for half a second. I don't want to look away because I don't know what I'm going to miss right now.
Yeah, that's why I ran back when I heard Oba's music. I was like, I'm not missing this. And I didn't even know I didn't know Moose was in the ring, but you did have some cool moments tonight with like you said, you had the opener with Elias, the Colognes, you had Cora Jade show up, after the match with Masha, you had Oba. You got some good storytelling heading into Sacrifice in a couple of weeks. I might have to push it up from an 8 to about an 8.59. I'm kind of with you there.
See, I'm a good salesman. To me, it is neck and neck, toe to toe of come see, come saw, mirror images. I feel a little bit of when it comes to NXT and TNA this week. And we've still got Friday, which out of the blue has Dwayne showing up. But yeah, I love that NXT stepping up, which is making TNA stepping up, and TNA stepping up is making NXT show up. I love the symbiotic bounce back and forth of that whole little pocket. To me, feels like what wrestling, like again, not taking shots at companies, but when AEW popped up in 2019, 2020, or whatever, this feels a little bit more towards that.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of hype between with WWE and TNA right now, and I feel like as we continue to get with this partnership, it's just going to be wild. Just alone to have the X Division title being defended next week, and then you got the Hardys showing up on NXT, and then the Hardys team up with Oba, next Thursday to take on Moose in the system. It's just next week's NXT and next week's TNA are two most watched, and we already know TNA is taped next week, so hopefully nothing gets spoiled. But it's just going to be wild, really, with TNA and NXT.
And we can look forward to the concert between Elijah and Joe Hendry in Las Vegas, folks. You can double down.
Right.
You can double or nothing when it comes to that concert.
But absolutely.
My guy, I see everybody 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Well, Mr. Quake talking about Paul Undertaker, 101 player. What? 8 out of 8.5, 8.5, 8, 7.5. Brandon with a 9.7.
I like that rating.
8, 8, 8, 8. I like 2 8, 8 apples and bananas.
Try that MDB in his 8 out of 10, but thank you, MDB. I like that.
What, 8 out of 10 knee pads?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at his 8 out of 10 for TNA tonight. But
you wanted to give it a 9.7 out of going through all the comments, and now you're surprised at an 8?
I know. I think because me and MDB have such a hatred for
enemies.
I thought he was gonna go lower just because he hated me. So
no, you can't. That's the thing, is it's the same thing with this of what it was like when Ricky Starks showed up on NXT the week before, of how I said it's a 10 and you can't deny it just because of that. Of we're getting now of I'm trying to find reasons not to give it a 10 for it to be a 9 or an 8 or whatever. Like, the shit's getting undeniable. It's just good wrestling. It's a good weekly wrestling television show.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree.
Right. But 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8, 8, 8.5. 6 years of AEW. What? MDB answer you. I'm not a hater, Anthony. I'm not a hater. I just crush a lot.
All right, MDB. I'll take that.
Right. But Hardy's first ever NXT match. Yes, next week. First time back in WWE. Mm-hmm. NXT was a 9 out of 10, though. And you know it. Yes, they both were a 9, though, my guy.
Right. They were both on the same wavelength this week. None was better.
Right. Well, I was about to end where we had 69, but now we got 60. And I was going to say it was nice, but we're tapping out for the evening here, as we'll be back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow with If You Smile, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson showing up on SmackDown. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. My guy, how are you feeling about TNA tonight?
Feeling good about TNA tonight. I'm excited to see what happens over the next couple of weeks as we charge towards Sacrifice. And like Nick said, we'll be back tomorrow for SmackDown. I think there's a members only stream coming up too. And then we back in the full swing of things come Monday with Raw and NXT and Dynamite and everything of the sorts there.
Why? But our shit is real, our shit is raw, our shit is all. Damn it. When you're talking about the rest, you better put that for life with it.
See you next time.